Hello and welcome to Oldham. Let's have a look around this lovely town here today. Come on, let's go. Just here at the bus station it says Oldham, say yellow to the B network. The B network is the yellow buses and trams for the Greater Manchester area. They're pretty cool, pretty funky. The B network. People from Oldham are called Oldhamers, though some people call them roughheads. Why do they call them roughhead? Well, it comes from the 18th century when people in the area of Oldham used to use rough felt to make hats. Used to have a roughhead. That's how that came from there. Here we have the Tommyfield Market. I do like market gates when they've got the name of it like that. Let's have a look at the market. There's an outdoor market and an indoor market, and you can buy absolutely anything here. It's essential for northern towns to have somewhere where you get everything at cheap prices, reasonable, and supporting local business. Support your local market, it's a good thing. Clothes, you got cloths, you got bags. There's an outdoor and an indoor market here, so that's good. Market traders work hard all year round in all weathers, so it's important we support them as they try and support their local communities by bringing affordable clothing, items and food to us in our communities. Just been talking to the lovely couple at the fishmonger stall over there, and they're saying that kind of the market is moving soon, 100 metres or so down further into town, and there's exciting times ahead for people on the market, for customers, for retailers and all that kind of stuff. So Oldham Market, things are on the up. Please come and support your local market. Got the market here, the indoor market supporting VE Day. The bunting is up. Clothes are out, ready for people to buy. Shutters are coming up and people want to sell. The market is open for business. From beds and furniture, to footwear, to electrical equipment. There's everything you could possibly want here at the market. Wow, look at all these goodies to get here. And we get some licorice, all sorts. I love stores like this that sell absolutely anything. So that's Tommyfield Market. I've also bought some sweets to have later on. It's a lovely place. Come and have a look round here. It's a good thing. Back on the main shopping street, they're setting up the fruit and veg stall here at Tommyfield Superstore. It's good they're supporting healthy eating, healthy living here with this lovely supply of healthy food. Good stuff. Got the planters along the side of the street here. Wanting green stuff going on. There's a plant stall here on the corner. It's good. You've got the option of a Greg's outlet or a gallery grill, independent instead. I was fortunate to speak to a few people in the market. They're all really friendly, really positive about the move to the new premises in the next 3 months or so. So things are on the up for people in Oldham. There's a lot of regeneration works going on for the market area. So there's lots happening. What was interesting to say was that the stall holders I spoke to on the market, they were saying that it's not the council's fault that people aren't using markets as much. It's a societal thing that isn't the council's fault. The council are doing the best they can, but they don't have the same money they have. Spending habits have changed, people buying online, people going into Manchester, people are choosing for bottomless brunches and meals out more often than cooking their own produce that they've bought from the market. So things have changed, and I think that's up to us to kind of change how we think about it. Do we want markets to thrive? Do we want local communities to have local people, local produce happening? I think that's one thing for us to think about. Certainly something I'll have a think about now as to how I shop and how I kind of make my choices with my retail shopping. There's a lot of regeneration going on in the town centre here. They're doing all this area up here. So things are changing. This here is Spindle's Town Square Shopping Centre, a destination for leisure, family fun, events and work. Here's some of the changes for Oldham. Workspace for startups and entrepreneurs. A new food hall. Leisure, events and family fun. Improving the streets and the public areas. See lots of trees there. And it's saying here that Oldham's future is exciting. We are Oldham. You know we love a blue plaque on this channel. Well, it's not a blue plaque, but it's a historical plaque. Let's have a closer look and see what it says. This plaque says it's the first Yates' Wine Lodge, opened here in Oldham, 1884. Peter Yates laid the foundations for this nationwide wine lodge business when he opened the first Yates' Wine Lodge on this site in March 1884. Wow, lots to unpack with that. I didn't know they'd been going that long. And yeah, Oldham, first Yates' Wine Lodge. Well done. Whenever I go anywhere, I like to find out what the local Wetherspoons pub is called. Let's find out about this one. This one here in Oldham's called the Up Steps Inn. Now I'm guessing that not only do you have to go up some steps to get in there, but the toilets are up lots and lots of steps up there. The Up Steps Inn. That's even got this nice outside area as well for continental style drinking. Lovely. Here's a pretty cool name for a street. Rich Lord Travel Street. Hey. This is the old Barclays Bank building. I do like these old Victorian buildings like this. That's leading down to Parliament Square, and we'll have a look at some of the history down there. Here's the Parliament Square Cafe and Deli, and here's some of the nice buildings down here. On the left hand side you've got Olden Vaults, the safe deposit box centre, and a couple of places down there. And there's a statue. Let's have a look at this statue over here. So in this area here we have a statue of Annie Kenney, who was a suffragette from Oldham, 1879 to 1953, campaigning for votes for women. Here she is with a pamphlet saying votes for women and ringing a bell as well. Annie Kenney. This here is the old town hall. It's an impressive building with the 4 columns at the front here. And in front there's some writing on the floor that says, "We shape our buildings, thereafter they shape us." And that was the words of a man you might have heard of called Winston Churchill. He was MP for Oldham 1900 to 1906. Winston Churchill was in here as the town's MP back in 1900. And there's a blue plaque. We love a blue plaque on this channel. What does this blue plaque say? It says Sir Winston S. Churchill, 1874 to 1965. Member of Parliament for Oldham 1900 to 1906. On the steps of this town hall, Winston Churchill started his parliamentary career when he was declared Member of Parliament for Oldham in 1900. Wow, I'm standing on the same steps where Winston Churchill stood. Crikey! I wonder if in 125 years' time there'll be a blue plaque saying Rich Lord Travel stood on these steps as well. I doubt it, but it's a nice, silly thought to think of. These buildings are no longer being used as a town hall, but they've been repurposed and re-kept going. So they were derelict for quite some time, but a number of years back they were repurposed. Now, behind me here, come with me. There's the Odeon Cinema, which is using part of the building at the back and part of it here. So now the town hall is part cinema and part Costa Coffee, but the frontage of the building is still there for all to enjoy and to appreciate all these years on. Good stuff. Another blue plaque here. This is a plaque to commemorate Oldham's Charter of Incorporation as a borough, granted by Queen Victoria on the 13th of June 1849, and it was received at this building on the 14th of June 1849. Oldham as a borough from Queen Victoria. I like to pay reference to how friendly the people of Oldham are. Everyone I've spoken to so far, trying to find out a little bit of history, a bit more information about the town. They've been really friendly, really positive about the place, saying there's a lot of community feel about it, and people are really friendly and welcoming. So definitely come to Oldham. On this road here, Church Terrace, which is next to a great big church, there's a blue plaque on the wall honouring those from Oldham who were awarded the Victoria Cross, Britain's highest military honour. Sergeant John Hogan, Private Walter Mills, Sergeant Thomas Steele. And this plaque was unveiled by the Mayor of Oldham in 2003. And right next to here is a war memorial, and you got some soldiers there in battle, and it says, "To God be the praise." And on this statue on this side, it says, "Death is the gate of life." 1914 to 1918, 1939 to 1945. And here it says the Roll of Honour, and it's got different people's names and the regiments they served in during the wars. This here is Oldham Parish Church, St Mary with St Peter, Oldham. A church building has existed on this site since 1280. Wow, that's a long time. But the church in its present form here dates back to 1830, designed in the Gothic Revival style. The church has got a peal of 12 bells, which was cast in 1922, and an additional one was cast in 1978. One of the original bells was cast in 1722. Wow. Oldham Parish Church. There's a number of notable people who come from Oldham. Radio presenter Nick Grimshaw, actor Eric Sykes, Bernard Cribbins, Christopher Biggins, Ricky Whittle, TV host Philip Schofield, actress Shobna Gulati, Dora Bryan, Anne Bride, Olivia Cook, Sarah Lancashire, Siobhan Finneran, science educator Brian Cox, TV presenter John Stapleton, and the comedy duo Cannon and Ball. They're all from Oldham. But that's not all. There's musicians from here as well. The Inspiral Carpets are from here. Mark Owen of Take That's from here, as well as founding members of the rock band Barclay James Harvest. There you go. All these are Oldhamers, rough yeds, people from Oldham. Behind me is a fish and chip shop. Lever's Fish and Chip Shop, takeaway and dining room. But what attracts me here, more than the fish and chips, is the blue plaque. And this is not just any other blue plaque. It says Fish and Chips, Tommyfield, home of the first British fried chip. Wow! The first chips were fried in Oldham around 1860, from which the origins of fish and chip shops and the fast food industries can be traced. Fish and chips were born here. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? The home of fish and chips. Oldham. Wow. And this is the site of the first ever fried chip. Here it is. That's pretty impressive. Cool. It's a nice little arcade down here. It's got some of the history of Oldham, and say the beginnings, coal, cotton, and Chartism. Some of the history, the years of expansion and growth. And then into the Victorian and the Edwardian life here in Oldham. There's lots of history here. There's Henry Taylor, the Olympic gold medal swimmer. He trained in the local canal of all places. Then you've got the industry, suffrage and the World War times, where community, Annie Kenny, the suffragette we saw earlier on, the statue, where the community kind of came together. The interwar years and the beginnings of decline for the country as a whole. World War II, then the fight back afterwards. Post-war Oldham, a prelude to change. And then 65 to 79, the swinging 60s and the start of revival. All these buildings that were built, the College of Technology, the Co-op. And 80s and 90s, modernism bringing about change. Bringing down the Three Sisters cooling towers there in Chatterton. You've got Louise Brown here, born at Oldham District General Hospital, the world's first test tube baby. There's history here. Patrick Steptoe, the gynecologist, he was instrumental in the remarkable technique for infertility which he pioneered. You've got Oldham Athletic leading out at Wembley here for the Littlewoods Cup final against Nottingham Forest in 1990. The Latics. And then you've got 1992 to 2004, a period of development and recognition. So that's Oldham over the years. And that was Hilton Arcade, built in 1893. And here's some ideas for Oldham in the future. A refurbished town square next to the town hall and the Spindles Winter Garden. Some quite exotic ideas here. Whether they'll come about or not, I don't know. But Oldham has some ideas for the future. There's all types of cuisine and food available here. There's Yum Yum's Caribbean and English grill here. Smells amazing. Here you've got the Egyptian room. It's a food hall now. Looks pretty stylish. It's part of the building that's part of the Odeon complex. You've got a Nando's and another bar there. And next to this, slightly different style, is the Oldham Lyceum and the Oldham Music Centre. Let's have a look at the Oldham Lyceum here, because I don't know if you've seen it. I certainly have. Blue plaque. Oldham Lyceum, opened September 1865. Devoted to the moral and intellectual culture of the inhabitants of Oldham. Oh wow, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Imagine being part of the moral and intellectual culture. That's pretty cool. And the School of Science and Art was opened here in 1881. Oldham Lyceum. And you've got the town crest there, which is stylish in itself, isn't it? A couple of those dragons and the owl, and 3 owls on the crested coat of arms as well. That's pretty cool. Oldham Lyceum, devoted to the moral, intellectual culture of the inhabitants of Oldham. And here's the old sign here. It's a bit of a new sign, 1989. But that's a nice addition here. It looks stylish. So you've got the Lyceum here. You've got the new market that's being built there as part of Spindle Market. You've got the Odeon buildings there and the Egyptian rooms. Then you've got the back entrance to what was the town hall there as well. So a good mixture of different architecture types and culture types and all that going on. It's good. It's mixed. Oldham. It's nice. I approve. And there's the back of the town hall building. You can imagine that balcony being used for declarations of things over the past. Churchill might have been there sometime. Old Churchill, 1900 to 1906, he was around here. Good stuff. So we've got a bar here, Fox and Pine, Oldham. Apparently that's been award-winning ales there. All the way back up towards the church here. Here we've got the old Oldham Free Public Library, Art Gallery and Museum. It's going through some renovations at the moment. They're creating a new home for Oldham, Coliseum. And you've got the new library on the background there. Over there you can see the hills on the distance, because this is a northern town that is proud of its heritage. They're making changes going forwards. They're making positive steps forward into the future. Oldham is a good place. They're being thoughtful about how they make improvements. This old library and museum isn't as it was. These times aren't as they were, but they're making changes going forward as to how things want to be for the future, for the people who live around here and the communities that are around here. So Oldham is looking forward and looking up. Good on you, Oldham. And you've got the tram tracks on the road here for the trams going into Manchester as well. Oldham is connected. Just look at these grand old buildings round here. Fantastic buildings. If only they could kind of get back into use again, because they are amazing buildings. That's the good thing about this area, is that there's so much heritage here and we need to make the most of it. This area, this street, solicitors, property lawyers, recruitment, solicitors, accountants, estate agents, professional people here in Oldham. And across the road from me here, my eyes are drawn to the wonderful blue plaque on the wall here. Let's explore what this says. It says Joseph Platt, 1863 to 1930. As the Honorary Secretary, he ran the Northern Union, later to become the Rugby League, from these offices in 1895 to 1920. He is considered by many to be the father figure of Rugby League. Platt was an official of Oldham FC from 1885 until his death in 1930. Joseph Platt, the father figure of Rugby League. At the end of town you've got a few more bars. You've got the old bank, you've got a karaoke bar, there's food places, piri piri, you've got chicken places, Soul Cafe. You've got lots going on here. Lots of options. Lots going on in Oldham. Some of the street furniture you've got around here with the trees, etc., they're pretty cool. This one says solidarity. This one says belonging. Next one says culture. It's a nice little area with these trees and the parking for these shops down this end of town. Just want to say a big shout out to Maggie at Zooties here, who was very kind to share some time with me to talk about how positive things are in Oldham, how people are friendly, how things are on the up here, how the next 12 months are going to be pivotal to the future change and the regeneration of the area, the upkeep of the streets and the greenery and the trees, everything going on here. There's lots to be positive about Oldham. So if you're coming to the area, come to Oldham. It's a good place. The people are really friendly. This street here has a few bars and nightlife areas. So you've got Get Lizzie, bar and lounge and diner. Followed by this next building, Bee's Knees, with all the bees on the top of there saying One Love Manchester. It's an amazing building there. That's cool. That's stylish, isn't it? Liking that. Cool. I've talked a few times on this video about community, and behind me is a community space that takes interest to me. Let's have a look at it now. It says Hack Oldham. It's for games, events, co-working, crafts, groups and workshops. 38 to 44 Yorkshire Street. And it's all part of York Chambers up there, the old building. Hack, Oldham. So this about wraps up my tour of Oldham, this great Lancastrian northern town. It's a town full of community, it's a town full of good people, friendly people. I've never known so many people willing to come and have a chat and talk about their lives and what it's like living in Oldham. There's the other things in the town, the suffragette movement, the first Yates' wine lodge, the IVF test tube baby, the first one, Joseph Platt, the Northern Union first secretary, the first ever fish and chip shop. And there's all this and lots more going on. Winston Churchill, he was MP here. There's so much history here in Oldham, and I've just scratched the surface as to what's here. So if you're in the area, come to Oldham and check it out for yourself. I'll definitely be coming back in a year's time or so to find out all the improvements that are happening here in Oldham. But for now, click subscribe, click like, leave a comment below, keep it respectful, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye for now.